Okay, here we go. I hope we can see each other. Hello, Kit. How are you today? And thank you, everybody, for being here today. Sorry about any delays we had. Technology was playing games on us today, but we are here and we're delighted to have you all here. Today with us, we have Kit Emsley, Director of the Collegiate Recovery, Assistant Director of the Collegiate Recovery Center, and he will tell us more about the program and what they all offer for everybody. Hello, Kit.
Hi, Carmen. Thank you so much for having me. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen if that's okay. Oh, it says that I can't. Is there a way for, oh, there we go. Okie dokie. All right, so hopefully everybody can hear me okay. I am, as Carmen said, I am Kit Emsley, and I am the Assistant Director of the Collegiate Recovery Community. Well, technically, I'm the Assistant Director of Collegiate Recovery and Intervention Services at UAB, which in short means that I run the Collegiate Recovery Community. The Collegiate Recovery Community is an office on campus that strives to provide a space in which students who are seeking to improve their relationship with substance use can come together in a safe and judgment-free environment. And I'm now actually not sure that this is the right PowerPoint slide, so give me one moment. Yeah, no, this is the right one. Okay. They have identical opening pages, so that doesn't really help me. The Collegiate Recovery Community provides a safe and welcoming environment for UAB students who are seeking to improve their relationship with substance use. We have a dedicated space on campus. We are at 12th Street South. We're right across the street from the UAB Highlands emergency room entrance. And in that space, we have several resources available for students. But really, the chief goal of the Collegiate Recovery Community is just to create a space where we can have open, frank, and honest conversations with UAB students about substance use and how to improve the relationship that they may currently have with substance use. And, you know, just to help them to achieve like academic and professional and personal success while they are at college, and just to try to kind of mitigate any negative effects that substance use may have had on their success in the past. One of the reasons, or in fact, the main reason that we exist is that we recognize that substance use concerns are particularly pressing for traditionally aged college students. As you can see from this slide here, in 2020, there were 59.3 million Americans aged 12 and over who had reported using substances. And as I'm sure everybody here knows, there are certain social norms and cultural norms around substance use that are very much part of the images that we receive of college life, and that those do put students at a particularly high risk of developing an unhealthy relationship to substances. The percentage of Americans who reported substance use was highest among that age range that I described, that 18 to 25-year-olds. So according to those statistics, 37% of 18 to 25-year-olds who were surveyed reported substance use of some kind. This is particularly pressing in the current moment because the substance use epidemic that is a very pressing public health crisis in the United States has reached a level that is very, very scary and dangerous. I hate to lead with such a depressing statistic, but in the year that ended in October 2021, the number of Americans that died of a cause related to substance use, whether that's an overdose or other causes that are a direct result of substance use, was 101,035. So that is a staggeringly high number for a 12-month period. And so recognizing the very real threat to public health that substance use disorders pose, the collegiate recovery movement was started in the sort of latter part of the 20th century. I think the first collegiate recovery community was founded in the 1980s. to kind of combat that and to meet the unique needs of college students who are working to improve their relationship with substance use. As I said, we have a dedicated space on campus between the subway and the PETA stop on 12th Street South. So if you know where UAB Highlands is and you know that across the street from that there's a subway and another restaurant called the PETA stop, we are directly between the two of those, sandwiched between those, if you like. So that means that we are near campus, but we're not in the middle of absolutely everything, meaning that we can provide our students with a certain amount of privacy and confidentiality, but also we're not so far away that it's an inconvenience to them to reach our space. Students who sign our membership agreement and become members of the CRC receive 24/7 access to our building with their one card. So even if it's the middle of the night, and maybe they are in a situation that they would not like to not be in, maybe they have friends or dorm mates or other associates that are using substances in a manner that they don't feel comfortable with, or they don't want to be around, the CRC space is open to them if they are members, and they can come here even when we're not here, if they just need a place to study or be themselves, maybe get out of a situation that may pose some kind of discomfort to them. The CRC is available to them day or night. So as I mentioned, we have several facilities, including a living room, which is more of a social space. We also have a kitchen/conference room where we hold some of our larger meetings and events, recovery meetings, that kind of thing. We also have a small quiet room/meditation room where people can go and study. There's a little desk in there. There are pillows and other kind of yoga accoutrements for people who practice meditation and yoga. Really, that space is designed to be a place where students can go and just kind of close a door and be left alone if that is what they need, whether it's to just kind of take a break or if they need, solitude to study. We also have office space. We currently have a staff of 3. There is myself and our 2 AmeriCorps Vistas. And basically, we strive to create an environment where our students can have one-on-one time with our staff, as well as social time with their peers. And so having those offices is very important because it means that we can have one-on-one conversations with students about their relationship to substance use, their plan for their recovery if they have one, or really just to discuss what they hope to get out of membership of the CRC. And as I said before, those are a non-stigmatized, judgment-free space where students can honestly and freely disclose anything that they would like to regarding substance use without fear of reprisal or negative consequences, and really just get the services that they need. Speaking of services, the community itself is peer-driven. Our goal is to create a space in which students can interact with each other and socialize and be in fellowship with like-minded peers who understand what it's like to be a college student and also be working to improve one's relationship with substances. But as I said, staff are always available to provide additional support and guidance. We currently have weekly meetings on Tuesday evenings. Those are for our students in recovery, but they also are open to our students who don't necessarily identify as being in recovery, but identify more as allies or advocates. That is, that they want to get involved in the recovery community at UAB, whether that's on a volunteer basis, or maybe they've been impacted by substance use in a family member or friend, or they have otherwise just developed an interest in recovery, whether that's because of their major or personal experiences or various beliefs. There are opportunities for them to get involved and very much be a part of that community. There are volunteer opportunities for them to help us out with programming and events. But also those meetings that I mentioned on Tuesdays are open to the entire community for the reason that we try not to create too stark a distinction between our students who identify as being in recovery and our students who are more allies. We want everybody to be a community together because that's how we kind of learn and grow together. We also offer recovery ally training to student, staff, and faculty groups. I will talk more about that in just a moment. But very quickly, I did want to do a quick plug for a class that we are going to be offering this coming semester in collaboration with the Department of Community Health and Human Services. So this is the Seminar in Addiction Recovery. I personally don't love that name, but that is the name that we have for it. And the goal of this class is to really provide students with an education about substance use disorders, about recovery, treatment, all those things that kind of fall on that continuum of care that we aim to provide. And it is sort of designed to be particularly relevant to the collegiate context. It's open to both undergraduates and graduate students, and it will be taught in the fall by myself on Thursdays at 5 o'clock in the evening until 7:30. And we have a growing registration for that class, and I'm very, very excited to be teaching it. It's the first time we've been able to do it, so we're kind of piloting that right now. But I do encourage anyone with an interest in recovery, or anyone who knows a student with an interest in recovery who might be interested in taking the class, please encourage them to reach out to me. I'll be providing my contact information towards the end of this presentation. And please encourage them to sign up. This flyer here has a QR code on it that will take anyone directly to the course catalog entry for the class. But I'm also more than happy to provide that information and those links to anyone who is an interest, or who has an interest, I should say. Some of our upcoming events. So we are currently finalizing our calendar of events for the fall. We have a lot of things going on, some very exciting ones. But in terms of what is immediately coming up, our first big event of the fall semester, we will be tabling at the Student Health and Wellness Center open house. And that will be at 10 o'clock in the morning on August 23rd. We will be following the open house with our first meeting of the fall semester. We have been continuing those meetings throughout the summer. But because the fall semester is going to be getting underway at the end of August, we wanted to have a big welcome meeting to welcome back our members who have maybe been away during the summer, or new members who have heard about us during orientation and are looking to come in and get involved. And that meeting will be mostly a social with some housekeeping elements to it, and that'll be at 6 o'clock on that Tuesday, August 23rd. Then on the 31st, we are doing our own CRC open house, and that will be a little bit longer. That'll be 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And really, we'll just be opening our doors, providing snacks and refreshments, and just letting people get a look at the space, because as I've kind of described, we are very fortunate to have a wonderful dedicated space on campus. And we'd like to show it off and let people know that we're here, because most often when students are referred to us, they tell us, oh, I had no idea this existed. And so the open house is really just a way to kind of bring people in and let them see the kind of work we're doing and give them opportunities to get involved. Then on September 8th, that Recovery Ally training that I mentioned earlier, we'll be offering the first one of the semester. That will actually be an open session of the class that I just mentioned. So that class will be being taught here in the collegiate recovery community in our conference room. But on September the 8th, we are going to open up the class to any UAB student or community member that is interested in being trained as a recovery ally. And really what that training involves is a broad review of, the current state of the substance use epidemic in the United States, how to have non-stigmatizing conversations with people about their relationship to substances and about recovery, and also some guidance on how to make UAB a more recovery-friendly community and to build more recovery-ready communities on the campus and beyond. So I'm excited to be offering that. We will also be offering a Recovery Ally training specifically for faculty and staff later on in the semester. And if you'd like to know more about that, please feel free to reach out to me. And then on September 17th, we are doing our first sober tailgate of the semester. I am very, very, very excited about this one. We're going to be partnering with the Addiction Prevention Coalition, which is a local nonprofit agency with a very similar mission to ours. They're more community-based. And we are hopeful that in that morning, we will have a recovery resource fair. So local providers will be able to come and table and promote their programming and offer resources to the campus community and any members of the local community that come along. That event will be fairly open to the public. Likewise, after that, APC and the CRC will be co-hosting a sober tailgate. Hopefully that will be in the Blazer Village at the Protective Stadium. Now that Blazers are playing there, there are still some details being finalized regarding the tailgate, but we are excited to be partnering with APC to make that happen, and it should be a really, really fun event. Events like that are particularly important to me and special to me because we always like to be able to provide a sober alternative to events at which students might typically find themselves exposed to substance use. So tailgating obviously is one of those, and it'll be really, really great for us to be able to provide a safe and substance-free environment at the UAB tailgate for any students that are interested. As I mentioned, here is the contact information for the CRC. The phone number and email address that are listed there are mine. So if you call that number, provided I'm not doing an event elsewhere on campus, I'll be happy to talk to you about anything that we do here or answer any questions that you might have. Likewise, you can always email me at kpemsley@uab.edu, and I would be delighted to correspond with you about our services and how to get involved with us. And as I already mentioned, you can find us on 12th Street South across from UAB Highlands. You can also visit our website, which is uab.edu/recovery. And we are on Instagram at UABCRC. And I am kind of behind all of the above. So if you need to reach me, any of those venues will get you in touch with me. So yeah, that is our contact information. Feel free to make a note of that. And very quickly, I'm just going to do a quick kind of refresher because I'm aware that this presentation throws a lot of information at you. So the basics that you need to know is that the CRC, Collegiate Recovery Community, provides supports for students who are working to improve their relationship with substances and are seeking a community of like-minded folks. The idea is that our space is safe, it's peer-driven, and it's free of stigma and judgment. We maintain open hours that I should have mentioned earlier. So our space is open Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you come by during those hours, there will always be someone in the building to answer questions or meet with you, or meet with any interested parties that want to learn more about the CRC or about recovery or how they can get involved. And yeah, as I've said, we recognize students are more likely to develop substance use concerns, and this is an important detail, they are less likely to seek support for those concerns because of some of the norms that I've discussed around substance use. There is that preconception that substance use is just a part of college life, and students who are concerned should just dismiss those concerns as being part of the college experience. But when substance use is interfering with our students' success and their well-being and their happiness, obviously we feel there needs to be a place where they can come and voice those concerns and speak to someone who is going to be understanding and welcoming to them. So that is what we strive to provide above all else. We encourage students and anyone connected with students to contact us if they have questions, or if they want to know more about the services that we offer, or any other kind of involvement that they are interested in. Please feel free to reach out to us. And I want to reemphasize that students do not have to be in recovery themselves to get involved. There are multiple opportunities for anyone with any level of interest. And that about wraps it up for my presentation. I want to thank everybody for listening. At this time, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have or discuss any aspect of the work that we do here at the CRC that you're interested in. But thank you very much for your time. Carmen, I think you're muted.
All right. This is, as I said, thank you very much. This is wonderful information, very useful. We're so lucky to have a place for students to go and be together and in a non-judgmental space, like you said. So at this time, we would encourage, if anybody has questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A section. We will also be posting this to our website later on as we get captions, but it'll go live. It'll be available for viewing or reviewing on Facebook after we are done. But again, please feel free to, if you don't have any questions right now, Kit put the information where you can reach out to the CRC, and then feel free to submit any questions that you have. While we're here, I want to remind you that at the end of the presentation, you also will get a survey about this presentation. This helps us at the Office of Family Engagement to know what else we can do, what other topics you're interested in. It will also give us an opportunity to connect you more to CRC if you're interested. And also, we want to remind you of the upcoming webinars next week. We have one more on student involvement and leadership. We have one on campus safety, and we have so many. And a very important one on health, immunizations, and everything you need to know about health services at UAB. So again, we still have a few minutes. Is there any last minute, any last tips, Kit, that you have? Any last things that you would like to say?
I think above all, the one thing that I hope people will take away from this is that far too often we shy away from conversations around substance use because it's awkward to talk about, because it's a difficult subject to broach, and people can often be very like secretive and sensitive about it, particularly if they are experiencing some kind of difficulty. And a lot of the time, because of the nature of the beast with substance use and the culture that we have around it, there's a lot of internalized shame. And a lot of fear of judgment and a lot of tendency towards judgment and accusation. So the advice that I would give would be, if you or anyone you know seems to be struggling with a substance use concern, or has any kind of difficulty or question regarding substance use, please do talk about it. Don't stay silent, because there is far too much silence around this issue already. And, we exist for that very reason. We exist to facilitate those conversations and to have those conversations with students that can be very difficult. And that a lot of students are not super inclined to have until such a time as it becomes a necessity. And one of the really great things that we can do is we can if we can have that open conversation with a student early on, we can head off any negative consequences that they might have, rather than them having to come to us through a referral because they've had some kind of incident occur or some other negative consequence. We really strive to create a culture in which people can come to us openly, without any kind of external pressure, and just have those very honest and frank conversations, and know that they are in a space where they will be supported, they won't be judged, and that there are services and a community of people with shared experience who are going to hold them up and support them. So yeah, my number one piece of advice is talk about it. And if talking about it is difficult, feel free to send students to us and we will talk about it, because that is what we do.
And something key that you said early on is that whoever comes to you does not need to be somebody in recovery. If you know somebody, if you want to help somebody, it's very difficult sometimes to know how to help somebody in a situation. And so CRC is there to help you and to support you in helping somebody else. So I don't believe we have any questions right now, and probably some people would feel more comfortable reaching directly to Kit. So the information was posted out there. We thank you all for being here today. We wish everybody a happy Friday and a good weekend. And please also reach out to the Office of Off-Campus Student Family Engagement if you have any questions or if we can help you in any way. Have a great afternoon. Thank you. Thank you, Kit.